Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Cabral.
Welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here today on this Cabral Concept, a special weekend edition of the show, which are our Cabral House Calls. So looking forward to being able to answer your questions just like we do every single weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. I do hope that you tune in. Never really know what questions are going to be asked and what answers I will provide. I do love being able to check in with the community. You're always welcome to submit your own question as well. But as I always say, if you're looking for same-day answers, your best bet is to leave that question over at cabralsupportgroup.com. That is our free Facebook group. And of course, if you have a question on how to use a protocol, if you have a question on customer service, it's best to email support at equa.life. All right, so that's the absolute best. Now, if you don't mind waiting about 6 weeks, I'm happy to answer your question on these Cabral House Calls. Let's get right into it. First question today is coming from Simon. Simon is writing in saying, hello and thank you, Dr. Cabral. We are expecting our second baby in late November. I'm preparing for a 6+ months of reduced and interrupted sleep with additional stress. I'm wondering what your best recommendations are for preparing for and dealing with this taxing time. My concerns are impacts on energy and focus at work, exercising, and being a good father, as well as general health and not reversing my last 12 months from healing from chronic IBS-D. I've been listening to all your podcasts on adaptogens, and I figured a maintenance dose of stress-reliving supplements like Adrenal Sooth, swapping with or adding energy-boosting supplements like Adrenal Energy Support on days when I need more energy and focus at work. What do you think of the Korean and American ginseng for energy also? Are there any supplements or practices that benefit sleep when you know it will be frequently interrupted? Many thanks. Thanks, Simon, for writing in, and congratulations on your second baby coming this month. So here's what I recommend. I've been there before. I know what you're saying. And what I recommend now is getting your body, I know you only have a couple weeks, as healthy as humanly possible, getting some sleep now at least, and then making sure, just like you said, to buffer with the stresses of life. So you're going to have to not overdo your exercise, right? You want to exercise, but not overdo it because you're not going to be getting as much sleep. You want to eat even better than you have in the past. Go easy to no alcohol at all. And what you're going to want to do too is just use those nutritional supplements that are going to give you a boost. So I'm recommending the Daily Foundational Protocol Level 3. I'm recommending the Immunity Protocol. And just like you said, I'm recommending the Adrenal Energy Support in the morning, 2 capsules with breakfast, 2 capsules at lunch. They already contain the Korean ginseng. So sometimes it's called Siberian ginseng, Korean ginseng. You're all set because you get that, you get the eleuthero, you get the rhodiola in there, you get the ashwagandha. And then at night, if you need it, I would add extra full spectrum magnesium to kind of calm the nervous system. And you can add Adrenal Sooth with dinner. If you need help getting to sleep and staying asleep, then you can use the liquid melatonin, which is part of our sleep help support program. So that's it. I mean, that's what I would do. It's what I did myself. And I'm happy to pass along that information to you. All right. Another question from Simon. Simon says, hello, Dr. Cabral. Simon here again. As I said above, I am preparing for a period of reduced sleep and increased stress when our second baby arrives. I normally like to train frequently, mix of weights, calisthenics, yoga, and cardio, and do what to keep fit over this period. However, I am cautious not to impact my overall health and energy by adding additional stress on my body and wearing myself out. How would you approach exercise over this period? I'm a Vata Pitta body type. Thanks so much. I would have guessed that you were a Vata Pitta anyway, Simon, just by how your last question was phrased. I've been doing this in assessing doshas and constitutions by personality for quite some time. And I kind of already answered that question, but just like I said, you're going to want to make sure that you have recovery days. So on a night that you just don't get a lot of sleep at all, you're just going to want to take it easy that day. Some light cardio, some light body weight exercises, go for your walks. You get a little bit more sleep, and you may even want to invest in one of those bio-tracking devices. You can use the watches, you can use the rings, you can use the bracelets, like whatever works for you. And if your heart rate variability is low, your resting heart rate is up, your deep sleep is below an hour and a half, your REM is below 2 hours, you simply just might want to go lighter that day or not work out. Remember, like the goal right now, this is temporary. Our first daughter was a very poor sleeper for many, many reasons why. And unfortunately, it was 10 months before she slept through the night. That was brutal. But I can tell you this, most kids, 3 months, 4 months, sometimes a little bit more. And then you start to just get a couple wakes or so. So basically, yeah, just what I said, you're going to have to go by how you feel. And I would keep an every other day workout in there, just like for ideal, meaning like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something fun on the weekend with the whole family moving around. That's really what I would do. And I know that you said you have one other child, so I'm sure you're going to be active with them on the weekends as well. So hopefully that's helpful, Simon. Samantha's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. If the activated B complex, well, I answered that last week. Okay, so Samantha, yours is all set from yesterday's show. Sorry, this is part 2. Today's debuts on Sunday. But Samantha has another question. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Do you ever use Chaste tree in your practice for PMS symptoms and or to help stimulate progesterone in someone with estrogen dominance? Thank you so much. I just completed the Big 5 labs and I'm working with one of your health coaches. Thank you again for all you do. I've learned so much through your podcast. It wouldn't be where I am today without you. Thank you so much, Samantha. I appreciate that. So we use Chaste tree berry all the time in our practice, but we only use it when indicated on the lab work. So if you have estrogen dominance because your estrogen levels are high, but your progesterone levels are normal, then you wouldn't need to use the Chaste tree berry. You would use the Chaste tree berry. And by the way, we never just use Chaste tree berry. We use it as part of a progesterone boosting formula, an all natural formula. And your health coach on our team would actually give you that recommendation. So you can reach out to them and you can see the products that we recommend for that. They're not sold on Equal Life right now. We are going to put out a female hormone and male hormone balancing line in the future. No doubt about it. Now, these things just take time and they cost a lot of money in development. We don't. A lot of companies, they kind of just take cheap products, put their label on them and put them out in the world. That's not what we do. We're a clinical-based practice. Our products take at least 12 months in development, They would have been used already for years inside of our practice from other companies. Then I formulate my own. And that's that. And it costs a lot of money, costs a lot of time, but it's worth it, right? Because these products we know work. So yes, we use that as part of a formula. We use it when progesterone levels are low during the luteal phase. So you then use it during your whole cycle, all 28 days, or all month, all 30 days, or you would use it just the last 14 days of your cycle. So the answer is yes, when needed. All right, Jessica is up next. Hey, Dr. Cabral, thanks for all you do. I'm a healthy 36-year-old female. For the past few years, I have had 2 issues that I've tried to fix with a healthy diet and a decent amount of supplements that I take daily with no help. Firstly, I have horizontal ridges on my nails that are worst, deepest, sometimes only in my thumbs, which can get uncomfortable and almost painful at times. Secondly, I lose a lot of hair, like a ton when I get out of the shower. Not sure if these items are related, but they are both very frustrating. I work out every day, running or high-intensity interval training. I am vegan and gluten-free, not really stressed. I've taken a food sensitivity test, and I take a bunch of vitamins daily. Any idea what it could be causing this? Thanks so much. Okay, so yes, I do, because we've seen this many, many times. 2 potential issues. 1, poor absorption. Low stomach acid for potential, again, I don't know you, Jessica, so I don't know that you have this. Potentially disordered eating in the past, low stomach acid, low enzyme production, low absorption in the gut. All of those could be potential issues. On a vegan diet, I also, again, like I support people every single day on a vegan diet. I have no problem with that. I've been on a vegan diet myself many, many times. I'm on a predominantly vegan diet, but I'm not vegan. I eat meat, I eat fish, and I have eggs. Not a lot during the week, but I certainly do. So what I recommend is this. You might just be getting a lack of protein because keep in mind, like even if you're getting decent protein, you might not be getting enough for you because you do high intensity interval training, which is stripping your body of protein because it's breaking down your muscle tissue and then you need to rebuild. Could be why your hair is falling out. Could be why you have ridges on your nails. All of these things in your body take tissue building material. And yes, you can absolutely get it on a vegan diet, but are you getting 60 grams or more per day? That's what I would ask you. And it's not difficult. You can go back to my podcast that I talked about using our daily all-in-one nutritional support. That's 15 grams of hypoallergenic vegan protein. You can add more to it if you'd like. Other things you add in are probably going to bump it up to 20 anyways. And that just also you want to make sure that you're not on a hypocaloric diet, that you're just not depleted. Because that's what I have a feeling that you are. I have a feeling you're depleted of your vitamins, your minerals. I know you're taking it on a daily basis, but also all of the food as well. The second is collagen, vitamin C, zinc. Right? Those are needed to rebuild the tissues of the body. So what I would say is I would use our daily foundational protocol level 3, and I would use our immunity protocol, which is vitamin C and it's zinc and it's vitamin D. And if I could add one more product, it would be the advanced collagen support that you would add to your smoothie every single morning. That'll get rid of all the other vitamins that you need. Literally, maybe you want to add biotin, to that 5,000 micrograms, and that's it. Like that could be your solid set of supplements. Make sure you're not overtraining, make sure you're not undereating, and make sure you're getting at least 60 grams of protein a day. Okay. And again, you might need more because I don't know how much you weigh, don't know how much you train, but that's where I'd start. 3 meals a day, 20 grams of protein per meal, and then let us know how that works. All right. Thank you, Jessica. Marissa's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm hoping you can do a podcast or provide some advice on red skin syndrome, aka topical steroid withdrawal. I've been withdrawing from corticosteroids for about 5 months now, and I'm more than ready to be healed completely. Do you have any advice on how I can speed up the process? So, Marissa, my best advice for you, because I know that corticosteroids can have a big rebound effect. Just like using Afrin spray up your nose can have a rebound effect of creating more inflammation and more mucus. So again, that's why you have to be really careful with all these allergy meds, nasal sprays, corticosteroids, is I want to know why you had to use corticosteroids in the first place. Now, I know maybe you thought that was what I was going to say, but it's so important because I don't know why you had to use those. You had some inflammatory-based condition, psoriasis, eczema, I don't know, maybe even joint pain. I don't know exactly what you had. It wasn't stated. But what I would say is if you can run the big 5 labs, you're going to run the big 5. That's what you're going to do. If not, you're going to run the starter kit, which is going to look at your gut. It's going to look at your vitamins, going to look at minerals, going to look at your heavy metals. Okay. So we want to be able to look at that. But again, I would love to be able to run the stress hormones, mood and metabolism test just to make sure your cortisol levels are normal, that they're not overly elevated or suppressed, which could cause some of the flushing as well. So hard for me to say. I don't want to give you advice that's not going to work because I know how frustrated you must be right now. I hope that you're not, but I know that this is very frustrating. So the only way that I could specifically give you help in this specific instance is to find out what's going on in your body that isn't balanced, that I could help then your body get into balance, and then you wouldn't have these symptoms in the first place. So again, I know it's frustrating, and I wish I could give you a better answer. I really do, but that's the best I can do for right now. All right. Chris is up next. Chris is saying, hi, Dr. Cabral. I have a perplexing situation that I hope you can shed some light on. This summer, my husband, who has no known allergies, went for a run outside, and after coming home and started the cooling down process, he broke out in hives all over his body from head to toe. His face swelled up as his tongue, although no trouble breathing, and became super itchy on certain parts of his body. He took Benadryl and Pepcid AC as prescribed by his sister, a nurse, and the reaction slowly went away over a period of an hour. This happened twice during the heat. He assumed it was a heat rash or he swiped against a bush and had a reaction to it. But then it just happened again in mid-October in Chicago on a very cool day. The only common denominator we could think of is that the night before he drank some beers and then went for a run the next day. However, this would be odd to have a reaction when he's had beers several times throughout his adult life and then exercise the following day with no issues. He's 40 years old, in great shape, with no known medical issues besides psoriasis, for which he takes a monthly injection. What could be causing this strange reaction? Thank you. All right, this was written in by Chris. This is strange. This is very, very strange, okay? So if you said it was just the heat and it was a heat-based reaction, I could completely agree, because the heat will induce greater cytokine or mast cell or histamine-based reactions. That's not uncommon at all. You know, to get the flushing in the skin that our friend Marissa was just saying, again, like that could be histamine induced. Probably not, but possible. Like there's all sorts of different reasons. Chris is going outside for a run in the heat. I've had histamine-based reactions like that back in the day as well. That's not uncommon. I'll tell you the first thing that I thought about though. The first thing that popped into my mind, and it's why I want to mention it. I would love to know where he is running and if he's being exposed to pesticides in the air, because it doesn't happen every time he runs. So did someone just do a lawn treatment? Now, I mention this because it's happened in my practice before. Someone that I work with lived on a golf course. Well, technically, one house in between. And sometimes when they would do heavier sprays, they would have a reaction not dissimilar to this. So I'm wondering, when Chris runs and he has these reactions, have they always been along the same path, the same route? And sometimes does he take a different route? Has it been a morning or an evening? Again, did someone just spray? Or did he come in contact with something that led to this, not quite anaphylaxis, but this serious histamine-based reaction? And again, if an antihistamine works, like a Benadryl, it was most likely histamine-based induced. So that's what I'm looking at. Could it be... the name is escaping me right now. It's not diphasic, but essentially it's dysautonomia. Okay, it's called dysautonomia. Now, maybe your husband is moving this way, but I used to have dysautonomia, and it's a lot of people with myalgic encephalitis have this, and your body's basically not able to properly regulate a stress response. And there could be an exacerbating condition. Maybe like your husband is doing fine. His rain barrel is just at the brim, right? Just at the brim. And when he has beer the day before, he's got a slight gluten sensitivity, and that overflows his rain barrel. So then he goes for a run, and maybe he's dehydrated. Maybe his electrolytes are off. His sodium to magnesium is off. His sodium to potassium is off. And then he has one of these types of reactions. So it's possible that that's the case as well. Again, this is a candidate for the Big 5 labs. I can't tell you enough. The Big 5 labs would tell me what's going on. And if it was environmental, you'd know, because you could look for the pesticide, like lawn markers or on a golf course. And people say, like, that makes sense. Or he could run an environmental toxicity test. We don't talk about it a lot, but we offer an environmental tox test that's a simple urine test that you could do. And I do recommend that as well. So, what am I recommending? I'm recommending the Big 5 labs. I am recommending potentially trying some, if he doesn't use the daily nutritional support, but make sure he's using like the daily foundational protocol, and then trying some full spectrum magnesium, 2 to 3 capsules with dinner, to see if it's a lower level of magnesium as well. Because magnesium is going to help with histamines. Magnesium is going to help with stress response. It's going to help with sleep. And I'll tell you right now, and I'm going back to it, and I know there is an underlying root issue and root cause, because he has psoriasis. So there's heavy metals, there's parasites, there's leaky gut, there's something going on that has led to the psoriasis. So there's something going on. Run the Big 5, run the environmental tox if you want, run the bacteria and parasite test for sure if someone has psoriasis. As well, because it could be parasites. So I know there was a lot going on there, but I'm basically just using free thinking here. I never plan out any of the answers. I never know the questions ahead of time. And what I'm looking to do is give you my honest first thoughts from just hearing this question. I'm not providing a diagnosis. I'm not providing treatment protocols. I'm not providing any cures here. But what I'm doing is hopefully giving you that good first step as to where to work next, what to look at next, because this is serious, obviously, if his tongue's starting to swell up. So hopefully that answer was helpful. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Weekend House Calls. I truly appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for your reviews of the Rain Barrel Effect. Thank you for your reviews of the podcast. If you haven't left one yet, I would love you to leave a review for the Rain Barrel Effect on Amazon and also a review for the podcast. It truly does mean a lot to me. I read every single one. And again, I truly appreciate you. Come back tomorrow for our Mindset and Motivation Monday, which is, in my opinion, the best way to start the week. Take care, everyone. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Steven Cabral. And that's Steven with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.